There's an event coming up we want you to be a part of. I was honored to host it last year. I hope you can be there, and I hope the weather is as good as it was last year. It was like 75 and sunny, and in late October it was crazy, but it seems right. For the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk, supporting the AFSP of Illinois. Mike Bushman's here to talk about it. The goal here, Mike, is to raise money to help people who are dealing with depression and to stop the scourge of suicide. And, Mike, last year the weather was perfect.
Yeah, the weather was perfect. We're hoping for the same on October 21st. Raising money to support our grief support programs, our education outreach, talking to kids and groups and businesses around the state. Research, AFSP is the largest private funder of suicide prevention research in the country. And our advocacy programs that have led to the creation of 988 and many other improvements in our mental health and suicide prevention processes.
Mike, re-explain 988, because I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask you about that. I know it's seen a lot of success since its implementation here in Illinois and across the country, too. But tell everyone about 988 and when they should call it.
Well, you should call 988 anytime that you're feeling like you're struggling, that you want to help a friend and you don't know how to help them. If you want information on how to take care of yourself and you don't know what kinds of steps you can take for mental health. But since 988 went live last July, it's a way easier number to remember than 800-273-8255, which was the former number, and you can still call that number. But when you call 988, call volume has gone up more than 50%. Staffing has expanded rapidly, so the federal government has stepped in and provided support, which has helped states like Illinois that had historically dramatically underfunded lifeline call support inside the state. And so we're in a much better place in our ability to respond to people through the 988 system when they call, when they have needs. And we have on the AFSP board a couple of board members who have been involved in the chat and call line as work on those. And they love to get calls from people who just want to talk about what help they need or how to help a friend. They love those. If you're in crisis, of course, call 988.
On the day itself of the walk on the 21st, what happens?
Well, we'll start with the registration at 9 a.m. at Montrose Harbor. At 10:30, we'll start a program and a bead ceremony. So we have honor beads that reflect just to remember the people that have been lost, many people who've lost their children, their parents, their siblings, their friends, so that they know who else has suffered that same kind of loss. It provides a chance for them to talk with other people who've shared that kind of grief and understand that kind of grief. And they can recognize each other through those beads. And then at 11 a.m., as you know from hosting the ceremony last year, that after that program, we kick off the walk, which will go up and down the lakeshore around Montrose Harbor. People can walk as far as they are able, but the general course is about 3 miles or so.
Yeah, and the good news is, it's a very heavy topic, obviously, but the good news is the optimism in the air, the love in the air, the fun that everybody was having that day. Mm-hmm. And you go, fun? A suicide walk, fun?
Right.
Well, the walk is about the community. It's about memories, but it's also about joy and the memories of these people that are special to you. It's not, sure, there's plenty of time to cry and plenty of time to be sad, and there's room to do that too.
And a lot of support.
But you're going to have tons of fun. I guess that's my point. You're going to have tons of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being around people who understand, and it's for lost survivors. It's also people like me who've struggled with suicide ideation in our past and have struggled with depression off and on through our life. To be at a place where people understand, people who've never suffered a loss, and there's not that many of them, but people who've never suffered a loss or struggled with mental health don't necessarily understand. So being in a place where you can talk openly and get support is great. And of course, when you go over to the Why We Walk board where people post pictures and stories of the people that they have lost, you realize in a deep way just how tragic it is to lose some really just the most amazing people who just had those moments where they didn't know how to feel better. And that's why 988 and other programs are so important in providing an outlet for them to get help and in those moments when life just gets too much.
Yeah, it's coming up on a year where we lost one of my favorite uncles who took his own life, and he was beyond 90 years old and had lived a full life, but that's not how it ends. And nobody should be in that position, and when you need that kind of help to get through it, you should be able to talk to someone no matter what the age. And the good thing about AFSP, they can talk to people who understand, walk the walk and talk the talk. So, Mike, I appreciate you coming on to talk about it.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for your leadership and all that you do to support suicide prevention and to save lives. We all really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Best way to sign up and get more information is what?
To go to ChicagoWalk.org, look for the complete details there, or to just look up the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk, and it'll take you there.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
That's Mike Bushman at AFSP.